The Biden administration trying to prevent now two major railroad labor unions from going on strike.
You know, any work stoppage could have a major impact on the U.S. supply chain. Two of the largest railroad unions in the country are demanding better quality of life provisions in their contracts, as we've heard from those that other nurse strikes. If those demands are not met, more than 100,000 employees could go on strike by Friday.
CBS News correspondent Chris Van Cleve joins us now from Washington for more on this. Chris, always great to see you. As you well know, everything that we purchase, that we use, at some point has likely been on a railroad track. This is significant for everyone, but tell us what's holding up negotiations right now between the unions and railway companies.
These negotiations have been going on for a long time, months if not years. They're coming up at the end of a cooling off period that had prevented this strike showdown from happening earlier. But basically you have two unions, the largest of the 12 rail unions that represent conductors and engineers, the people that are on the trains. Basically this comes down to quality of life issues, sick days, and basically ability to take time off without penalty, like even to go to a doctor. Right now, the way that the scheduling is set up, that rail workers, the conductors, the engineers, they are scheduled for up to a 14-day straight stretch, and then they've got time off. But when they're scheduled to be working, they're expected to be working. And the unions say that even if they try to take time to go to a doctor during those stretches, that they can risk disciplinary action, even termination. One of the railroads set up a point system, and when you run out of points, so does your job runs out, and even if that means a death in the family. So that seems to be the holdup. The other unions, 10 of them, have tentative agreements in place that would see a significant raise. Total compensation for railroad workers would rise to about $160,000 a year. That includes benefits like retirement. So it's a double-digit raise, arguably the largest raise railroad workers have ever received. But it's held up with these two large unions over basically time off, sick time, PTO, if you will, and how that's going to be structured. Now, the railroad workers do get about 5 weeks of vacation plus holidays, but this ability to take a sick day or a personal day in the middle of a schedule has bogged this down to a halt. And the impact here, about 30% of America's freight, 1/3 of all of the stuff that gets moved would be at risk here. That's about a $2 billion a day hit to the economy. And as we saw with the ports, when the ports were full and you saw those ships backing up, that's what you could see to American cargo, American freight across this country. And there aren't enough trucks, there aren't enough planes to pick up the slack.
Wow, I mean, just trying to imagine the impact to everybody's lives of them not reaching an agreement is hard enough. But how is the Biden administration working to prevent that outcome you just laid out from happening?
Well, yeah, and if you think about this, the auto industry, the energy industry, any of these businesses that are sort of just-in-time production would run the risk of running out of supplies and grinding to a halt. So this could, if this strike went on, could ripple through the U.S. economy in profound ways and put an extraordinary amount of political pressure on all of our elected officials, but particularly the Biden White House, because the Biden White House has been very pro-labor, but is also going into a midterm election that could be bruising for Democrats. The last thing they need is to be hammered on letting the supply chain break down again. They've been criticized for the port backup earlier. Here you're seeing some positive economic signs. The supply chain is getting back into order. This would be a huge disruption. So the stakes are very high for the Biden administration. They are involved. The president engaged on the issue yesterday. But there's an open question. This has been a very pro-labor White House, how much they're willing to push the labor side and how hard they can push the corporate side.
That's right. I mean, the president yesterday in one of his speeches was praising unions. So it's interesting to see this negotiation. Chris.
Yeah, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Salutations to the hopefully elect out there, pushing this word in truth, sincerity, and indeed. Your brother Kapatazar from the great millstone Chicago branch. Coming at you with another quick, Lord willing, edifying lesson. And this is just a economy watch here, all right? And this is one of two major possible strikes. You got the railroad strike And then you got the nurse strike. I forget if the nurses are actually on strike now. I'll have to double check, but yeah. And they talking about Friday, the railroad's supposed to go on strike because even though the railroad, even though it pays pretty damn decent, they make some decent money considering the amount of profits, considering the amount of taxes that a lot of these corporations dodge. They could be getting paid a lot better. And when you go into the comments, basically people are just pissed off because the people on the railroad, they're expected to work or be ready to work basically round the clock, 24/7, 365 for 14-day stretches. And like you were saying, man, you know, you can't even take time off, you know, for you may have an emergency come up. You know, you may have a death in the family and people are getting disciplined or they're getting disciplinary measures taken at them if they try to take days off for certain emergency medical issues or deaths in the family, you know, because it didn't line up within that 14 or because it lined up within that 14-day stretch that they're expected to work, you know, nonstop. And a lot of these railroaders, hey, it's 12 hours a day, you know, and that shit is the railroad is not an easy job, man. All right. And all they're saying is, hey, let us just get some, when some shit comes up, let us at least get the day off, you know, to handle what we have to handle without being penalized for it. Okay. And hey, the cost of everything is going up. All right. Don't get it twisted. Those railroad workers, you know, they make good money, but guess what? The union dues are not cheap. The insurance is not cheap. Okay. The amount of taxes that gets taken out their checks is not cheap. So when you really look at it, man, hey, on paper, you know, they may be making $35 an hour, $40 an hour. But when you do all that math and all that subtractions, man, they ain't really getting paid like what you think they are. All right. And like I say, hey, they getting their ass worked. Okay. And so hey, man, the unions are like, hey, they're trying to get contracts, you know, for better working conditions. All right. That's all they're asking for. But Esau, being the damn devil, he don't care nothing about that. So what's going to suffer? The supply chain. And like he was saying, you know, the auto industry. All right. All types of industries are going to pay for this, man. The supply chains are already fucked up. All right. They haven't gotten better since, you know, the C-19, when it caused that huge log jam with all that cargo just waiting, all in the seas, all in the oceans. All that cargo was just sitting there waiting to make it into land, you know what I mean, to get distributed throughout the states. All right. So I doubt that's been cleared up. So with this coming, it's just going to make things even worse. They don't have the planes and the trains and the manpower to supplement what would be lost if these workers were to go on strike, man. All right. It's going to cost the nation. It's going to cause the economy up to $2 billion for every day that these railroad workers go on strike, man. So the power is in the hands of the people. Now, I heard or I read somewhere that Congress can not allow them. Supposedly, the president can make them work through this until they, you know, get the negotiations run. You know, how they're going to do that, I don't know. But what I do know is, hey, these motherfuckers going to rebel. And this is all a part of Esau's system, you know, the technocracy, all right? The corporations that run the government, their tactics and the way they do things, the way they treat Americans is all biting them in the ass, all right? And that's why this New World Order that they're aiming to orchestrate is not going to go according to their plan, man. All right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 7. Matter of fact, no, since I brought up the New World Order, this is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. And what is straits? Difficulty. He's going to be in great distress. Who's that talking about? Esau, Edom. All right. After he's raped, robbed, pillaged, all right, and deceived and defrauded right when he think he's finna be good, man, he's going to be in positions of great difficulty as far as his government and the running of this country goes, right? It says every hand of the wicked shall come upon him, all right? Now, when you look at that word wicked, all right, every hand of the wicked, Amal, the laborer, the workman, all right, the toilers, okay? So the workers here in this country, hey, what? When they revolt and when they finally get fed up, they're going to revolt against the government. They're going to revolt against these corporations and the technocracies, okay, that need them to distribute or that need them to keep these supply lines going via these railroads, man. Okay, via these commercial railroads. Hey, they're going to revolt, man. And like I said, hey, it's going to cause a great economic rift and a lot of loss is going to happen when this shit goes down, man, which is all by design. Because what is Esau going to do? He's going to automate it. They showed you that in the movie Logan, okay, with Hugh Jackman starring as Wolverine. All right. The trucks, the Mack trucks, all right, the 18-wheelers, they were automated. They were driverless. So real soon, I believe they got those in Japan already. I think those magnetic trains are electric. So, all right, so what they're going to do is, well, we're tired of these people going on strike. We're tired of having to consider these people actually are human and have lives outside of their job. So you know what? Let's automate everything. Let's make this shit electric, and we won't have to worry about, these railroad workers. OK, we're going to have machines do all the labor and things of that nature. And that's eventually what these devils are going to invest in because of things like this. This is all just a part of the plan to have an automated, autonomous society, OK, controlled by the elites. And anybody that is against it, you're going to be labeled and you're going to be casted off, man, and done away with. All right. This is a part of him setting up his system. OK, I think the state of California, they're trying to get rid of gas cars. They're trying to make everything electric and automated. OK, which is going to cause a lot of job loss. All right. In the very near future. This is the plan of this devil, man. All right. But see, hey, this is the righteousness of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is how, all right, things should go. All right. When a man, when you are a ruler or when you are positions of authority and you have workers, all right, this is how you're supposed to treat them. This is Sirach chapter 7, verse 20. Whereas thy servant worketh truly, entreat him not evil, nor the hireling that bestoweth himself wholly for thee. Right. So people that are working hard for you. All right. People that are doing backbreaking labor. All right. Risking their lives and limb for your company or for your enterprise, man. You're supposed to treat them good. OK. All right. You're not supposed to entreat them evil. You're not supposed to treat them. You're not. It's just no understanding. There's no empathy with these corporations, man. All right. With these corporate heads, with these Edomites, because they're all Edomites at the top. You know, there's no understanding with these people. All they understand is profits. It's all about money with these fuckers, man. And that's why they're crumbling, right? Verse 21, let thy soul of a good servant and defraud him not of liberty, right? So these people, they busting their ass on these railroads, all right? Hey, if a family emergency comes up or if they have to handle something for their own medical welfare, their own well-being, don't defraud them of that liberty to go do that, man. All right? They should be able to go handle their business and come back, man. Okay? After all, they're working 14 days straight. On call 24/7, man. All right? That's stressful shit, man. And hey, I had a brief stint with the railroad. A lot of those dudes, man, they're miserable. All right? A lot of those dudes, they make decent ass money. Like I said, even after taxes, after union dues and all that, they still get a decent ass check, but they're miserable. They're rarely ever home. They barely see their children. Their wives are all cheating on them if they're still married. A lot of them are divorced. Their wives are collecting alimony, all right, getting piped down by some other nigga. All right, it's sad, man. All right, I was actually, was talking with one of these dudes, man. He's been on the railroad for like 15 years at that time, man. The motherfucker looked, he was an Edomite, of course, so, you know, I was just smiling on the inside. But, you know, to hear that shit, it's like, damn, Joe. You know, he looked like he damn near wanted to cry when he was explaining his situation to me, man. You know, the dude, he was pulling in, what, $3 grand a check after taxes. So he's like $6 grand a month. All right. After taxes. All right. But shit, he was damn near living in his car because divorce and alimony was chewing his shit up, man. See? All right. This is all bad, man. And here he is going out busting his ass. You know? And for what? Esau's the damn devil, man. All he does is he defrauds his own people. Scripture says, Sirach says, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he good? A man, to whom will he be good? You know, a man that defrauds his own people, he's going to defraud himself, man. All right? He's good for nothing. This is the book of Sirach 33:31. Again, this is just examples of how you are supposed to be when you have servants, when you have an enterprise and you have employees, man. All right, this is the righteous way to deal with it. Sirach 33:29, be not excessive towards any, and without discretion do nothing. If you have a servant, let him be unto thee as thyself, because thou have brought him with a price. Right, so hey, do unto others as you would want done unto thee. You know, as Yahushua has said, it's the golden rule, you know. But see, Esau, he's been a devil since the beginning, right? Verse 31, if you have a servant, entreat him as a brother, for you have need of him as thine own soul. If you entreat him evil and he run from thee, which way will you go to seek him? Right. So who gonna do the work? So if these railroaders, they go on strike, who gonna do the work? They can't mass hire. You got to get trained up for that shit. You see? But again, this is what they want because it's going to push the automation agenda. OK, when everything is electric, hey, them trains can run 24/7 all day. You ain't going to need nothing but a few technicians to, you know, look at the shit. All right. Patch a few things up. And then, hey, man, them things going to be back and forth. You ain't got to insure them. You ain't got to do none of that shit. They don't need vacation days and sick days, man. You know, that's ultimately what this devil wants, man. But what? He's going to cause a great chaos. All right. He's going to create the problem. OK. And then he's going to create the problem, blow up the reaction, and then come with the solution. All right. Textbook devil. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got on this, man. So with that, I hope this was edifying. All praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Shalom, and Abba Ball.